often when it comes close to the month of Ramadan, we think to ourselves, how do we make this the most productive Ramadan and most beneficial? So today we'll be sharing a few tips to improve your productivity and make the most of this Ramadan, inshallah. So firstly, we have to make sincere intentions and to make dua for this Ramadan to be the best and the most productive Ramadan. You can start making those intentions now in your salah, when you pray salah now, and also during the month of Ramadan, before you close your fast and before you open your fast, that your intention for that day of fasting was purely for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and to gain closest to Him and to increase spirituality. The second is to set some targets for yourself for this Ramadan. For example, you want to read a certain amount of the Quran each day. You can go about that by perhaps reading a little bit of the Quran each day after each salah, even if it is just 5 minutes. And even if you struggle to read the Quran, those who struggle to read, your reward is double. And also, whilst you're reading the Quran, as beneficial as it is to read it and the reward you get from reading it is great, also try to get an English translation of the Quran and try to really understand what it is that you're reading and reflect upon those verses and try to gain a more in-depth knowledge of what those verses actually mean. So just make the intention that you will read a certain amount of the Quran after each salah each day before you go to sleep, and then after you've prayed your Tarawih and you're about to go to sleep again, just reflect on whether or not you've achieved those targets and try to adapt your targets for the next day depending on how well you did for that day. So obviously increase it if you've done well, you managed to achieve it easily, and decrease it if you struggle to do that. The third one is to never miss suhoor. This sounds kind of easy, but a lot of people, we're quite lazy, myself included sometimes. And what happens is we set our alarm to wake up for suhoor, and we kind of put it on snooze just like we do normally in the day, and we find ourselves with 5 minutes before Fajr and someone bursts in the room saying, you've got 5 minutes, you've got 5 minutes. So at these times we kind of rush, we run downstairs and we try to eat as much as we can in as little time as we can, and then we hear the azan and we just pretend we didn't hear the azan, we carry on eating, and then we're just like, oh, now I hear the azan after we finished. That's not good. Try to, for this Ramadan, try to wake up maybe an hour earlier than you normally would, and try to eat a balanced meal that will give you enough energy to get through the day. And that's not bad for your health. It's quite often in Pakistani culture that you have paratha with chai. Though it tastes lovely, it's not the most nutritious, and it's not going to give you that energy you need to have the productive day that you would want to have during this blessed month. So try to have a more balanced meal, something that's more healthy for you, something, even have a banana, which contains a lot of potassium, which will get you through the day. Have some bread, have a lot of water and yogurt, just something that's more healthy and will get you through the day and make sure that it's a productive day for you. And also make sure you do eat something and don't fast on an empty stomach, because then you'll have low blood glucose levels. And if you keep repeatedly doing this, this could lead to health complications such as diabetes. And our last tip for today is something that we should try to do normally anyway, and that's to plan your day around the 5 daily fard prayers. Often in Ramadan we find that everyone goes to the mosque at Tarawih and everyone prays Tarawih, but during the day, because it's still a normal day, people are working and we don't tend to make time for Salah, especially when we're hungry. We just think, you know what, I can't do it, I'm going to feel sick if I pray. Or we're sleeping, which is something we shouldn't be doing anyway, just to pass by the time, because that's not essentially what the purpose of Ramadan is. You can't have a fast just by sleeping the entire day. So try to be productive, try to plan your day around the 5 daily prayers, never miss a suhoor, set targets for yourself, and have sincere intentions, inshallah.